Hi and welcome to the video tutorial for the November sweater. This crochet sweater is crocheted from top down like a raglan and includes nice post stitches on the shoulders. The pattern is available at coffeeandcrocheting.com. It is written using US crochet terminology and in sizes extra small to 5x. You can easily adjust the length of both the body and the sleeves by making more or less rows. And you can also decide then if you want more decreases or not on the sleeves. Now let's get started.
For this pattern you will need stitch markers or similar, a 3.5 or E4 crochet hook, a darning needle, the weave-in ends and seam the side, measuring tape, and a fingering weight yarn. I'm using this evergreen wool yarn from Hobby in color 5. To begin the pattern, we will first leave a tail to sew our neckband, and we will begin with the neckband. So make a slip knot, so you make a loop, insert your fingers through the loop and pull through the yarn. Attach it on your hook, like this, and then we'll chain 17. To chain, you just yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook. We now have our 17 chains, and we will make single crochets in the back loop, so we turn over in the back bump, so we turn over our chains, so you have the V, the nice V here, and then you turn over, because then you find the back bump here. It's the one sticking up here if you look on the side. So then we insert our hook in the second back bump from the hook, and then make a single crochet. Insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then end the row by chaining 1 and turn. We will now make single crochets in the back loop only. So first we need to find our back loops. Here, if we look at our stitches, this one here, the second one, is the back loop, so we will work only in that. So we insert our hook only in the back loop, like this, and then make our single crochet there. Insert the hook in the back loop. And repeat across row. Chain 1 and turn. And then we will repeat this row 2 until we've made a total of for size M that I'm making 102 rows. So here we have our 102 rows, and I left a stitch marker here in the working yarn and leaving the working yarn here, because we're going to take a break from that for a while, but we will continue to use it from there, so it's important to not fasten off, just leave it. Now we will fold the neckband in half like this, and then use the tail we left in the beginning to sew the sides of the neckband, the short side. So we will seam this. So I'll use the whip stitch, so I go under and then just simply close and repeat all the way. Now when we've seamed it, we will weave in this end. Like that. Now we have this. It's round. And then we just fold this like this in the middle. Make sure the ends meet here. And then to keep it folded, I usually place stitch markers like this. And then we'll fold it, we will make sure that it's folded all the way around. Make sure that your ribbing meet each other, so the bumps here meet each other. I always count, so I'm sure that they meet each other evenly, so I have 10 bumps and 10 bumps now. Then place a new stitch marker to keep it together. Then we just take our working yarn, remove the stitch marker, insert our hook, and place it. We make chain 1. And now we will go through, make sure that we have it even. Now we will go through both of the sides, making single crochet around. We will make 1 single crochet in every row except for every 3rd row, where we will make 2 single crochet. So I'll take this nearby. Here is 1 row, and then we go through all the way through, pull. Oh, I got stuck. So we go through all the way through, and then pull up a loop and pull through both loops, so that's 1 single crochet. And then for next row, the same, go all the way through, and then the same the next, all the way through. Now we've done 3, so that means that we now will go through the same space once more. So in that way, making 2 single crochet every 4th row or every 3rd row. Then we just continue like this all the way around, making sure to keep it even. Now when you have made your single crochet, it will look like this, on the other side like this. So I usually have this side now as the front side or right side. So now when we work on this, this will be the right side of the sweater. And then just continue all the way around, and I'll meet you back there. So we have now gone through all the way, so that means that this has closed also. So we have this nice neckline here. I've now made my 136 stitches, I accidentally opened the last one. So now we will go join to the first stitch of the round. So we go under the first stitch of the round, yarn over, pull through, and pull through, so that we slip stitch to the first stitch, and then I chain one and turn. And we're now ready to begin the raglan part of this sweater. So we will begin by making a half double crochet here in the first stitch. After you've joined, it's important that you actually make it in the first stitch, so that's that one there. It's directly after the chain. So we make a half double crochet there. I'll mark the first stitch with a stitch marker, so I know that that's the first stitch of the round. And then we continue. For me, I will make 17 half double crochet. So yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and go through all 3 loops. We now have our 17 half double crochet. So then I will make a V-stitch. Sometimes I call it a corn stitch, but let's call it a V-stitch today. So then I make a half, I'll actually make a double crochet. So yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops of the hook, yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook. Then I make a chain, and then a double crochet in the same stitch that we just made. So now we have a stitch. It looks like a V. That's why it's called a V stitch. Then I'll insert a stitch marker here in the middle of the V, so in the chain space. And then we'll continue to make 49 half double crochet. And now when we have 49, we will again make our double crochet V-stitch. Double crochet, chain 1, and then double crochet in the same stitch. Mark the chain space with the stitch mark. And then 17 half double crochet. Now we have our 17 half double crochet, so then we'll make a V-stitch again. Chain 1 and then double crochet in the same. Mark the chain space with the stitch mark. And then again 49 half double crochet. And then after our 49, we will make our V-stitch. So in the row with the V-stitch, mark the chain with the stitch marker, chain space with the stitch marker, and then we'll join to our, now we have our first stitch of the row. So then we will join to that by making a slip stitch. So I insert the hook where we have our stitch mark and make a slip stitch to join, and then chain 1. Remove the stitch marker because now we will have a new V-stitch, or a new first stitch of the row, and then turn. And now next row we'll begin with a V-stitch. So we will make that it's typically made in the chain space, but now I will make it, I will want to have front posts here, so I will make it around the post. So I yarn over, go under the post or go under the double crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 1, and then go under on the other and make like that. Now we move our stitch mark. So it's in the new chain space. Now it's important that because the idea of the V-stitches are to make increases. Oh, we forgot to put our stitch mark on the first stitch, so we'll mark that. But the idea with the V-stitches is to increase. But now when we make around the front posts, we need to be extra sure that we're working in the right way, so we make the increases. Now we will make half double crochet in the back loop only. So we yarn over and then find the back loop, because this is our first stitch here. Find the back loop of that stitch like that and make a half double crochet. And now we will have 51. Last round we have 49 and now we will have 51 half double crochet, so in the back loop. So the final stitch will be here on top of that double crochet, but we'll still use that double crochet for our front post V-stitch. Move the stitch mark. Here we will now make 19, so make sure to use the post stitch. I'll try to show it more nearby. So we ended in that stitch, in that double crochet, in the back loop. So we yarn over and go on around that post. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook, and 2 loops on the hook, and then we chain 1. Now I move the stitch marker and put it around the chain 1, and then we use our other double crochet, yarn over, go around the post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and then it's that one that we use the back loop to continue our next. So now we will make 51 again. And then we just continue like that. So 51 and then 19, and then I'll show you how to join the round. So now we reached the final stitch. So now I have 18 and I need 19. So that I will make the 19th in the, here I mark the first stitch with the stitch marker. I'll remove that so I can use the stitch. So I use that back loop. And then I join a slip stitch here in the chain space. And I chain 1 and turn. So next row will just be half double crochet in the back loop and the V-stitch, then like that, and this row we will then end in this V-stitch here. So I realized that I never showed you how to make the V-stitches and join on a wrong side row. So I'll show you that now. Don't mind that I've made half of the yoke. It's the same idea on the wrong side row, no matter how many rows you've made. So I'm just finishing up this wrong side row, coming to the end of it, and this ends with a V stitch. So the row started with just half double crochet and ends with a V stitch, and the right side row started with a V stitch. So now I'm making, so as with the other, make sure to make the stitches all the way. So there is my final half double crochet before the V stitch. So that's actually in the post stitch from previous row. So now when we're on the wrong side, this is how our V stitches looks like, and this is on the front side. We have nice post stitches. So now we need to make back post double crochet. So double crochet in the back post. So we yarn over, and then we go here from the back up around the post. So we're on around the post on the back side, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, and then we chain one for our V stitch, and then repeat on the other side. So we go here from the back around the post. We see that we have the post here, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, mark my V stitch with a stitch marker, and here we have the first stitch of the row. So then we remove that stitch marker, insert our hook, and make a slip stitch, and then I chain one and turn. And now we're ready to make the right side row. So that I just begin by making a front post double crochet. I'll just move my camera. So that's, I go around the post on the front, and then chain one. Mark the first stitch here with the stitch marker, so that was the first stitch here. So I know. Then make my second post, going from the front. Mark the V stitch with the stitch marker. And then continue with my half double crochet, making sure I make it here in the actual first stitch. So that's this one here. And then just continue across. And then we'll around the full yoke, and then we come back and join here and start our wrong side row. So we have now completed the raglan part, or the yoke, and we ended here on a right side row joining to the chain space. So now we will turn over. So we will work on the wrong side. You can see that this is the wrong side because our post stitches looks like this on the wrong side. And then we're now going to join for the body. So we're now kind of removing the sleeves, and we'll continue with those later on, and we'll now continue with the body. So now when we have it like this, this is the short side, so that will be the sleeves. So we will now skip this part. And we will do that by first we have our here where we join. So we will chain 5 for my size. And then we take the stitch marker from this side, and we can put these like folded like this. So we have this side and this side. This will then later on become the sleeve, but we will skip that section now. So we skip, and then we just continue to crochet now in the back loop here on the long side. So in the same way as we did before, so we make our first half double crochet in the back loop here, just after the V stitch, so in the same half double crochet, or in the same stitch as the front post double crochet. So we have our V stitch here, and that's the stitch there where we're going to use. So I'll just make a half double crochet in the back loop there, making sure to keep it tight so my chains hold. Make sure also not to twist the chains. But now we've kind of created a hole for the sleeve and joined the body section. So now we just continue. We turn. We just continue to crochet along the long side here until we reach the second sleeve, and there we'll join again. So I'll show you that. And on the same way as on the previous round, so make the final half double crochet here in the front post DC, and then I turn so we see the short side again, and I chain 5. This row still increased 2 stitches since we used the V stitches, or the first part of the V stitches, so keep that in mind. And then we again just simply join here. So we put our V or half double crochet in the back loop here in the V stitch. And then we again continue here on the long side. So continue here. It's on the wrong side. You continue just on the previous, just like on the previous. And then when you've made the long side like this, you come back to where you started with your chains. So then you just join to the first chain you made with the slip stitch. So let's find the first chain. Like this, and then chain 1 and turn. And then you just continue to now work in rounds. So you all the way around here, across the chains, until you come back here, across the chains, and then join, and then chain 1 and turn. And we will continue to make the body in the round. When you work in the round, it's important that you work the first and final stitch in the same place all the time, because otherwise you accidentally might increase. So here, this is the first stitch here. So we make that here, and then just continue now around until we've worked our way over the chains, and then we join to this first stitch. So I always mark this first stitch with the stitch mark, so I know that that's the first stitch. So then I'm sure to not increase. So then now we joined in that chain there, so we won't be making a stitch in that chain when we reach the end, because that would increase the stitch count. So then we just make it there and then join here. So here I just joined on the final row of the body before the ribbing. So now we will start to make the ribbing for the body. So after the join, I chain 16. So here are our 16 chains. So then I turn the work So I now work on the correct. And then I'll make single crochets in the back bump from the second chain from the hook. So just like we did before. So I insert my hook in the back bump and make a single crochet. So I now have 15 single crochet here. Then I will join to the body of the garment to kind of attach the ribbing. So now I'll insert my hook here on the next stitch of the body and make a slip stitch, and then again on the next stitch and make a slip stitch. Then I usually chain one, but you can skip that if you find that that makes holes. And then turn. And then for the next row, we skip our slip stitches, so we skip that 1, 2, and then make single crochet in the back loop here on our ribbings. So that's 15 single crochet in the back loop. And then we chain one and turn. And continue to make single crochets in the back loop for next row. So we make 15, and then when we reach here, we again make 2 slip stitches, 1, 2. So here you have to see that this slip stitch here is connected in this one, so then the next slip stitch you make there and there. And then you just continue to make that all the way around until you come back here. And then you cut off your yarn and then seam the ribbing together here. You will have an opening here where the ribbing meets, so you just seam that close. When you've completed the ribbing, I'll fasten off after here, since I only had one slip stitch or one stitch left here. I only made one slip stitch and then ended the row up here. If you have 2 stitches here on the final row, then you complete all the way down and then seam from bottom up. But now I only had one, so I ended up here. I'll seam this using the mattress stitch because I think that gives a nice edge. So I turn this so I see the V's and then go under both loops. And then same on the other side, go under both loops. Always going here from the inside out, under both loops. Then I tighten it. It gives a pretty seam like this. Like that, and then I'll weave in the end on the inside. I usually go a bit back and forth. And then I like to make a knot so I'm sure it will fit. Don't make this knot if you're not sure that this will be the permanent knot, because you can't really get this open. So then I insert my hook in a stitch and then I yarn over the needle twice. And then I just pull through. And that gives a knot here. I tighten the knot and there you have it. And then I again continue to just weave in a few times. And then I cut my yarn off. To make our sleeve, we will attach our yarn here. So here is the yoke. And then here is the sleeve, so we will attach the yarn down here. But first we have to see on what side, so that this is the side to work on next. So then we turn our garment like this to be able to attach it here on the inside. So that's the, this is from the side, and this is the hole. So then we take our yarn and attach it with the slip knot. Here in the, it's our chains we had for making the body. So attach it here in the middle. I chain 1, and then I make a half double crochet here in the same stitch, and then half double crochet here across the chains. When I come to this kind of corner, I usually make half double crochet 2 together like this to kind of close the corner. And then when you reach the actual stitches you made before, then you continue to make half double crochet in the back loop. So you make that all the way around, and then you join to the first stitch here when you reach it. So just like you did on the body. Make sure you get the correct number of stitches around. I recommend that you first start to count these stitches so they are correct, and then you can adjust here how many stitches, because here it might be hard to find your chains. So then you can adjust so you get correct number of stitches for the first round. And then you just continue to make rows of half double crochets until the ribbing, but some rows will be decreased rows to kind of make shaping for the sleeves. So I will now show you how to make a decreased row. So I've already started to make the other sleeve and made some decreases on it. So I will now show you how to make a decrease row. So here I had joined and chain 1 after the final row or previous row. So now I just begin by making half double crochet 2 together. So I yarn over, insert the hook in the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, then yarn over and go to the next stitch, insert my hook in the back loop, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all loops. So that's our half double crochet in the back loop. Then I just continue to make normal half double crochet in the back loop here until the 2 final stitches, which is this one and this one. So it looks like it's 3 stitches left, but that's just because that's it's the joining stitch. Or actually that is the joining stitch. So these are our 2. So then you just continue to make half double crochets in the back loop until the 2 final stitches. So these are the 2 final stitches, and there you make half double crochet 2 together, and then you join like you would otherwise. That was the video tutorial for the November sweater. I hope you liked the pattern, and thank you for watching.